Hola amigos, welcome back to another episode of SevTech Ages, and this is gonna be a special episode. Happy Easter everyone. This is gonna be a special episode because I'm gonna have to edit and put together 3 episodes at once. As you can see, we are way advanced. We finished all the first age and age 1. And it turned out that all my recordings had a lot of problems with the audio. It wasn't recorded properly, it was out of sync. And everything happened because I tried to install the shaders on Optifine. I didn't like the result, so what happened is that I deleted them. And then after that I didn't check, and all my videos were completely out of sync. And yeah, that's the thing. So we did a bunch of stuff. We actually also are in we went to the hunter dimension. Wasn't very good. It wasn't as expected actually. And what else? Well, we did a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna try to edit 3 episodes in one, guys. And because the audio is out of sync, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together the video first, and then I'm gonna do a voice overlay explaining some of the stuff we did in here. So as you can see, I spent a lot of time in the 3 episodes. I hope you can forgive me, but that's the way, how do you say in English, the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yeah, I can't do much about it because I try and I saw a bunch of videos about how to sync audio and video again, but it was not only that, we were having the frame per seconds. I don't know why it was dropping like at 5 or 2 sometimes, so I was frozen in each episode. And I think I fixed it. I installed a new application for video recording, and I hope I hope everything goes well. So enjoy the rest of the episode, guys, and see you on the next one. Bye bye. Alright, so this was the starting of episode 4, and in this episode we did a lot of crafting. As you can see, we started by crafting all the horsepower machines. That was the first advancement we did in there. Then we did the chopping block as well for the horses, and I was really excited about trying to see this new mod that I've never played before. The car, I was trying to figure it out in there how to go in, and I remember commenting that it will be cool to play in a multi-server with this so you can transfer people in and out, and it has a huge inventory as well. So I tried putting some stuff in there to see if it changed the texture, and indeed it changed, which was really cool actually to move. So I will be using that soon. And then we attached the car to the horse and we tested it, and it couldn't fix through that gap in there, but it was still attached to the horse. But then we started trying the horsepower with the different machines, the presser, and the other 2. And I was making some dye in there, trying to use the other one as well, which is really nice. But I know that you could, and this I was putting a path. I think it was cool. Then I was in an excursion to the jungle. I found Cranky and mentioned that it jumped from Forever Stranded to this pack. So I tried even, I think, to use this parrot, and I found another one there. This parrot on those machines. It didn't work too well. As you can see in there, I was trying to attach it there, and it was flying away every time. So it didn't work too well. But then I try also, I remember, with the dogs. I'll show you that later probably. In here we started with totemics. One of the first ceremonies I did, I think. I was showing here how to use the staff to see what kind of effect you have on your totem poles. That I never seen a lot of people using it. And here I was doing the ceremony for the flute imbuation, which is the first time I always do, because that gives your flute a little bit more power for other ceremonies in the future. Now we did the other one, that was the what was called this one, we'll say it here in a moment, the Safkiel Waltz. So that will turn those saplings that I put in there into the totemic saplings, of course. And there you have it. We turned a bunch of those in there. We got it. Now it was time for the cows that took me forever to find, but I bred them and we were ready to transform the cows into buffaloes. So I was reading and explaining about the ceremony. We know what to do, and it was basically the same. So all the ceremonies is take some times, but you can do them eventually. So the mundane buffalo dance, you can see it goes very, very fast with the flute, with the rattle, and I also have the the skirt you make as well, and we get to buffaloes. So now you can actually pick them up and take them with you and put them back in a pen when they're small. When they're big, you cannot do that, but when they just born, you can see I grabbing them to move them. And then I was using the trumpet from a skeleton to frighten my parrots, also showing the dog, and that was the end of episode 4. Now, episode 5, I had the full armor set of the wolf, which was really nice because we were going to do probably some abyssal craft and we needed those gems, and I was showing a little bit how the progress was going. There's the dog, and I remember mentioning that the dog, it has to be in the sitting position because it was not following me all the time. I showed some punji stick that I put in there, which is a cool idea for a mob farm because they do drop stuff from there. Then the strainer, where I show how to get the worms and get some fish and tooth sharks, etc. from those strainers. I think that was when I was showing the worms that you can get from there. And you can put them in there to get a bunch of fish. But also it was mostly used for the shark tooth that we need for other crafting. And I was mentioning the infinite water source that they get away from there, that it was for a server. I wish they removed that. Here I was showing how I can climb up with the spider totem. And now it was time for those one of the parrots to get transformed into an eagle because we needed to kill it. And I was mentioned there was probably will be a nice idea to get some kind of other way to get it instead of killing your parrots. Just transform and just right click to get the feather or whatever you need. And keep the eagle with you instead of killing it. I wish there was an alternative for that, but unfortunately there's not, so I have to kill that eagle to get the feather and I think a piece of bone for the next task. Ending with another ceremony, you see we summoned the boss, and that was required for a quest. To get his bow, and I was having a hard time killing him right there, so I thought, you know what, let's try to use a punji stick in there. So I put it on the wall, but he was still hitting me, so I decided at the end that, you know, let's make a hole and kill it from a little hole in the ground. And there you go, we got the advancement made and the bow from the boss in there. So we're almost completing everything. I needed to go now to the abyssal craft biomes, and I put a bunch of totems to get resistant, night vision, etc, etc, to try to take on those shadow figures. And I was looking around, there is one, that one escaped because it went into the water, and that was before the last update. On the last update, Dark Custom made sure that every one of those drop a shadow gem. Unfortunately, I did this before the update, so it took me like, I don't know, 10 of those creatures to get only 2 shadow gems. So then I was getting the small one also to get the fragments, and the bigger ones just for the flesh. So I was trying to get them inside the little pen that I made there. It's not really worth it. And we even got Mr. Wilson. That's a rare spawn from Abyssal Craft. And it doesn't drop, I think it drops something, but I don't really remember right now what it drops in particular. But we got it on camera, so it was really nice. That was another shadow monster there. And that one, I realized my my sword broke, so I needed to use those bones to make sharp bones and continue with the hunt, because at this point I didn't have no shadow gem yet, and I died. I was getting desperate, so I run away from there and I tried killing a bunch of stuff, and I couldn't take it anymore. I died. So we used the first death, and we realized that with that compass you have to follow the arrow to get to your grave, which was nice. And once we got in there, I managed to find the grave and shift on top of it to... it took me a while to figure it out, but shift on top of that to just get whatever you have in there. And what else? Okay, so now that we have the shadow gem after a while, we crafted the gear, we crafted the mill as well that we needed just to complete those quests. And what else? That's the crank for the hand crank for the millstone, and that's the millstone that we did in there. So this was actually a very long episode with a lot of crafting, a lot of adventuring. So it was almost an hour episode, that one. So now we're using the millstone for some, I think it was charcoal powder or something. For the last crafting, that's the hopper, and I put the recipe wrong, so I needed to change it over. But we're doing that in there. You can see the recipe is wrong, so I have to redo everything. It was at the end we didn't use it, but I needed to craft another one after, so I end up making 2 of these recipes. And there you go, another advancement, and we got that one. This was for all the smeltery, the early game smeltery porcelain stuff. So we crafted the melter and the heater, I think it was, after that. So I was trying to figure out where should I put it. This is when I realized, you know what, this is the end of there you go, of age 0. So I was really happy, and I think at this point I couldn't hide my enthusiasm of being able now to craft a crafting table. I've never been so happy to craft a crafting table in Minecraft. So that's the first thing we did, grab some wood, and look at that, a crafting table. I was so happy. And then we also make, I think, a furnace as well, which is another thing I was really happy to make. So that was cool. We're progressing in the age 1 already. And then we start using the prospector mod to locate some ores. So it was nighttime, so I needed to go to sleep. And then I made a bunch of torches because I figured we're gonna have to go caving or something. We find some tin. That was the first ore that I found, not far away from home actually. So I decided to start marking all the nodes and you can see the village right there. So it's a little bit south of there. I don't know if it's that south or north, but I think it's south. And I put the pickaxe as a marker, of course. Sorry about that. And then I say, okay, well, we'll have to start digging. And I was very lucky on that one, because the moment I started digging, I saw a bunch of caves, and I got in there, I explored nothing. I didn't find nothing. But once I continue going down, 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 you can see right there I found the tin blocks. So that was lucky. The coal actually took me a while to find, and I did a bunch of holes, and the first coal node that I found, I couldn't find actually all the coal. But there you go, straight down from where I started digging, I found that. And I realized here that it's taking forever to break those blocks. Luckily, we brought with us everything from totemic. So I set up some poles with the buffalo to give me a haze tree. And that was a little better, not that much. But I cannot wait to unlock our excavation. I was trying to show you in camera the size of that stuff when I realized there was a bunch of mobs downstairs with I think it was those lava monsters or some kind of elemental monster that it shot me from afar and it put me on fire. So at that point I was saying goodbye of episode 5. Because it was a long episode. Now we started episode 6 in here, and I want to start on this episode talking about future Abyssal Craft and Blood Magic I wanted to start doing that in this episode. And I also updated the pack on this episode, so you can see the purple line for the new clear progress bar. Then I was showing how before I used to grab the barrel, go downstairs with the barrel, fill with water, and come back in. Now I put a cover in there, so now I can pick it up, put it on my inventory, move it around, so we can have several. I think I didn't actually try it, and then you place it, remove the lid, and there you go. So we have everything, all the water there. Then I realized that they added this dimension here, so I wanted to test it out. And I made the blocks for the, it's called the hunting dimension. I have to read a little bit more about it, because I know you can change actually the biome of that dimension. So I then crafted, what I was crafting? I think I was crafting the kiln right now. So once I got the kiln, I realized, well, I need the bronze, so I was actually cooking at that moment, I think, already the bronze, sorry, not the bronze, but the copper and tin to make the bronze eventually. And then I was placing the dimensions so we can start with blood magic and see if we get a bunch of mobs in there. So I said, should we test it or not? I use a stone sword to open the portal. And I say, okay, should we jump in? Yeah, why not? Let's jump in. So we jump into the dimension. It freezes for a second there, the portal. And then it loads the dimension. But I took a very strong fall damage. I don't know why I spawned like in the middle of the air. That was really weird. And it's really black, so I was thinking that maybe what I should do is put some kind of refuge there and put a bunch of totem of night vision and do kind of a mob farm in there to get killed. And then when I went back, I got trapped inside the wall. So I'm not sure what the hell is happening with those portals. So I needed a time. Luckily, it gave me time to open up in there and not suffocate inside the wall. But you can see I'm in the middle of the mountain there. So I made my way out, and I was just behind my base there. You can see my base is right there on the right side in there. You can see the farm. And in here we finally made the kiln, which was really nice, and we made the bronze, of course. So I put it on the floor for now, but I made put a bunch of tin in there, and I think it was you need 3 copper for 1 tin. So I was calculating how much I needed, and I put in there that with a bunch of coal that we got already from the exploration. Then I made some snares. That's the way you start with blood magic, because we need to get some will. And I say, you know what, should we go to the dimension, the haunted dimension? And it was brutal. So I really need to set up something there for better, because I was getting very unlucky throwing those snares. They were not getting the particles that I needed. So I went back and say, you know what, let's go at nighttime. And when I was digging my way out of there, actually I found a little cave inside there. So I don't know if that has anything to do or influence on the spawning area. So I'm probably gonna move the portal, and actually I did at that point, not in the video but right now, because we're building a new base. I made a new armor, of course, from bronze, which is gonna help us a little bit. There you go. We test it out, we put it in, and we're ready to throw those snares to the spider. That was the first victim, and it dropped the will right there. And I continue doing that because I crafted a bunch after that to get more and more will. And well, it doesn't show right there. That right there, I was crafting the Necronomicon just to end the episode. And I say, I don't remember what I was saying there, but I was crafting there the first altar for the Necronomicon. We hit it with the Necronomicon, the Abyssocraft, I mean. We hit it with the Necronomicon, and there we go. We have the altar. Alright guys, so I just finished editing the 3 episode. I hope it wasn't so bad. And next episode will continue as regular. So right now I'm moving from over there. I think I'm gonna like this better. So I'm building a better house. And there are several aspects that I like in here. I like we have a bunch of lava. It looks really nice at night in there. There's a hole in there like a cave. Maybe we can go explore one day. We have the town really, the village really near us, which is really nice. I love that there is a bunch of horses around here. I also like this in here. This I'm gonna put some sand maybe at one point and do some kind of like a beach. And in here we have a water source, so it's already there, so we can use some channels maybe to move it. Either that, or let me show you what I've done so far. Although I wanted to show you this already built, but this is the progress so far. So we entered these are tall oak fence gates, which are 2 gates united, which is really good. Sorry, the sound is a little bit louder because I was watching some movie while building. And in here I made this brownstone so you can walk really fast in here. And I put another oak tall fence gate in there. And well, I was in the process of building the top floor here. And this in here, it's really nice. Oak log lights. So if you take a look at the usage of logs, you can see actually the first one is torch and an oak wood log give you a oak log light. So we can hide all our lights inside our house inside the logs, which is awesome. I've never seen that. I usually do it with chisels and beads, but this is really nice. And this in here I like it. This is a water source over there. Probably at one point we'll be able to move water. I don't actually really know if we can already craft buckets. No. Okay. And unfried crucible, turntable, yeah, well, I'm not gonna go into that right now, but you can see we have that in there. That's a water block coming from that piece of rock floating in there, but we can take advantage of these to make some channels for our crops. So probably put some crops in here in this area. Not sure yet, so we'll see. Let me know what you think. But maybe that one over there, I think is gonna be it's gonna look cooler to have the crops on that level and a little bit of farm. Here, I don't know. I was thinking of like a little balcony maybe or something. I know we're gonna need some places for blood magic as well, but I think block magic and everything should be probably in top of that mountain. Maybe it could look good, a blood magic altar on top of that. At one point I'm hoping that there will be some kind of a teleportation or fast travel system to get into there. And Abyssal Craft is gonna go probably in that island or something away from our place in here, because I don't want any fire or contamination or lightning near our place with Abyssal Craft. Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and for sure guys, see you on the next episode. Bye bye.